Welcome to Film Study, an all-American podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all of the things, and subscribe to CTV, Kaya's channel, because Carmen, Kaya, and I are talking about Jordayla and all that is them today. Y'all ready?
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Not yes, sir. So, off the bat, I have a fun question. When did you start to ship Jordayla? Not why, but just when did you start to ship Jordayla? Carmen, do you want to go first?
Was it during the summer? I think it was during the summer. It was definitely, I think, after season 3. So probably, I think it was during the summer. Like after season 3, the summer. If I'm not mistaken.
Got it. And you know what? Forget I said let's not do why. Why?
Why I started shipping them?
Yeah, very briefly. Very, very briefly.
Lexi. She forced me.
That's not correct.
She was like, either you gonna like Jordayla or we gonna have some problems. So that's how it happened. No, seriously. No, I just, I think it was somebody supposed to edit or something, and I never realized like how much Jordan really cared for Layla and the way he carried her. And so like watching some edits and watching some old clips, I was like, I just fell in love with them. Just like they were so cute.
Makes sense. Kaya, what about you?
This is why we fell in love, or when,
or when both? And
why? When. You know it's crazy because we gonna throw this out there. We gonna throw it out there. Cotillion, when
Kaya, you about to have everybody coming for us in the comments.
No, look at listen, I'm going somewhere. People follow me. Look, I'm going somewhere.
I'm following.
Cotillion, when Spela was still kind of a thing, it was like, they gonna get back together? I don't really see it, but then I could see potential there. And then I saw the way my man's Jor came up to our girl at the Cotillion, making sure she was good. He walked her in. I said, look how she looks on his arm. He's checking on her during the dance. And then the little look he gives her at the table, I said, wow, I think I see a little something there. But I wasn't like fully there all the way. But at the end of season 3, it was the wedding, the wedding that did not happen. I said, wow, look at this conversation. She knows him. She knows. They have history here. Like, this is a friendship since childhood that has grown into something so beautiful. And that was like my real eye-opener right there. I said, yeah, they're going places. And I like that for both of them, It's a beautiful thing to see blossom.
Same here. I think, when did I start shipping them? The Cotillion, when did I realize that they actually were going to be a thing? Probably like 309, when he said, you're the strongest person I know. And why? I just love how Jordan is there for her constantly, and that's probably why I ship them. But let's get into their history a little bit. So obviously, I don't think people pay attention to this much, but Jordan has always been checking for Layla low-key.
Yes.
And he has.
Yes, he has. In season 1.
Eyes be alert for Lay. For little Layla.
Yep.
Facts. And you see this in the pilot. He's watching her, and we just sort of see it again, sort of slowly in the background, till we get up to the Cotillion, and there's actually just very solidly there something there with them. And this was after, he, when she was away. Go ahead. Somebody?
I forgot about the Cotillion. I forgot about it.
Girl, how could you forget about the Cotillion?
That is. Listen,
we gotta rewatch together.
That is when the first. I wouldn't say I shipped them, but I was like, I wonder. But then it was like I forgot because I wasn't a Layla fan then.
No, you were not.
It was a few seconds. No, I wasn't.
No, you were not.
It was a
No,
little
and so
blur.
the cotillion. And so what I actually went back because I just remember their small moments. Like I remember him watching her sort of walk away in the pilot episode. I remember, you know, her looking at him in 116 after he finds out about his parents' affair and all of that at the party. And then, her messing with him
Hmm.
as they're playing football in season one. Like, I feel like these are like very small moments that everybody noticed. One that I didn't notice that I went back and saw was when he was talking to Olivia about
That lollipop,
what
that lollipop, the lollipop.
what lollipop? What are you talking about?
At that when she threw the party and he's eating the lollipop and he's looking at Layla.
I'm
Oh
done.
no, I wasn't even thinking about that one, but that's a good point. No, I was
But
thinking
it's a
about
moment.
it is a moment. See, look at that, adding on to their moments. No, I was thinking about the it was either 116 or 115 when they're at Chris's house at the party and Jordan punches someone and she's sort of
Oh,
looking off in the distance.
yes.
Um
Hmm.
so I was thinking about that, and then 201 when she goes to play football with him, right? Like they were looking for Spencer and he wasn't there. Uh and so she was just like, if you're down a man, like I can join in. I just love that scene between them. But to that point, there's
Don't
also
forget his
see
line. He said, "We got something. We got something better. We
we
got
have
Layla."
Layla.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. And even in this conversation, I'm like remembering some of their moments. And of course, yes, the birthday party where they hug. She's planning. Obviously, he was in the midst of some craziness, as was she. She was depressed. He was having his gross, weird version of The Bachelor, as Liv put it. And so they were both going through things, but they exchanged some looks during that time as well. But then jumping to right before the cotillion when he was talking to Liv, and he was talking to Liv about how that she needed to be honest with Layla, which as we know, as we know, is a theme with Layla. Is that she values honesty, and that's something that I didn't even put together until I think this season, going back and rewatching, that Jordan had said that like you should be honest about honest with Layla, obviously before we get down the line to season 3. So what did y'all think about that and like just their history, obviously the cotillion, and then season 3, those moments that we've already said.
I feel like because it's crazy because I just watched that episode when he was talking to Liv right before the cotillion. And to your point of her always wanting honesty, girl, I went back and I've been watching from season one, which let me tell you, it's so much of a difference from season one up until where we're at right now, just in terms of all the characters. But from the very beginning with Lele and in season one with Asher when they had the party for Spence and she just wanted to know that his dad and he was broke. And she was like, it doesn't matter to me how much money someone has, just be honest. And he went on and lied
Yeah,
anyway again. And
right.
all she wanted was honesty. But there's been several moments while rewatching that I've seen that's been something that's constant with her, is her just wanting people to be honest with her. And so the fact that Jor picked up on that, and not only that, like her at the cotillion with him, just seeing that she needed someone in that moment and that she was nervous to go in. This is her first time really out and about since getting out of rehab and everything. And it's just the fact that he picks up on both the bigger things, but also the little things with her. Like he notices, and that's because he always be checking. He be looking for her, and I'm
He
like,
do.
It's because
yes,
he got a lay R. He got a lay
a
R. That's why.
radar. Like his radar has been set. It's been on. The
Mm.
batteries have been so powered since the very beginning, and you can see it. Like you go back and you see it build up, and it's like he changed the batteries at some point because it's so much stronger now. Like
He
my man
changed the
She changed
on
the
batteries.
it.
battery.
He be on it with her, and it's so nice to see that someone just sees everything that goes on with her, whether we think so or not. And it's even better because what we see isn't everything that they experience together. It's sideline stories and things that happen behind the scenes that we don't get to know, but based on the conversation she had with him prepping for the wedding, that she has all this, she knows all these details about him, and that's because they do talk. We don't see them talk all the time. I mean, what they be giving us though, it'd be so good. But when we do see them talk, it's only a little bit of, the conversations that they have had their entire lives together. And my man, he knows her. He really do.
Right. Right. And I think it's like not only does he know her, but he
Listens.
also yeah,
Yes.
listens and also knows what to say to her at the exact right moments. And, starting from the cotillion to like obviously, and we just said pre cotillion when he's talking to Liv, and she hasn't even heard this conversation that he's having, but starting from the cotillion to 309, obviously to her, then coming to him about it. But we just see this pattern of him just being so mature and, just telling her what she needs to hear, a la, you're one of the strongest people I know. Um, and so getting into sort of where they are now with season four, 401, 401.
Can I just say I remember season one when she told Spencer like, you're like the only guy in my life that's like, well, she said honest with me. Can we
Right,
just
Yeah.
yeah.
say Jordan can we just say that Jordan is actually being the one that's been proven to be that guy? Sorry,
Yep.
love Spencer, but he ended up not being that guy.
Nope.
These are
Um,
facts.
but
These are facts.
Jordan is definitely proven to be that guy.
These are facts. Period. Period. Um, and not only that, he's honest with her, and as he listens to her, as we've said, what else did he say, especially in 401? He said like, you can tell me whatever's going on with you, and I promise you I won't break.
That is my line. That is my line. Yes. It's not gonna break.
Oh my goodness. And the fact that she, by the time season 4 episode 1 rolls around, that she's so trusting of him, and this is something that actually all three of us, I think, at some point have touched on, and have talked about, whether it's like, I think, outside of the podcast, but just the fact that she didn't even hesitate to tell him what was going on with Carrie, but that as soon as he said that, she sort of just um launches it after he gives his signature, like, Layla with the little eyebrow ring. And she just launches in and just is completely honest with him about how she's feeling about Carrie, which to this point still, and we're up to like episode 14, episode 15, to this point, he is still the only person that she's talked about Carrie with.
Yes, he
That's right?
is.
Yeah.
Besides that therapist, but that therapist don't get all the details.
I just said
Exactly. We
something.
don't we don't see the therapist on we don't see the therapist on the
So why do
screen.
you
So
guys think so? Why do you think that she talks to Jordan about things and nobody else?
About things in general.
That was really going on with her, like the things that's really going on with her.
I feel like because at this point he's proven to be that person.
yeah, I was gonna say she just trusts him. She, again, just when you're saying these things to a person, you're one of the strongest people I know. Promise you I won't break. He's very reassuring to her, and reassuring that
Yeah.
he's not gonna use this information against her. This is something that I've literally just thought about right now, but I think it might not seem this way, but Layla is really concerned with people's perception of her, and that's the whole journey we went on with her in season 1. With her putting on this facade of, like, Miss Popular, and I'm perfect, and all of that stuff. And so Jordan is someone that she can completely be herself with. Uh, that I'm not sure that we've seen her be herself with anybody else other than maybe Liv. Her completely. Uh, so yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um,
My answer
yeah,
is I think that it's because Jordan is the only person that when he check up on her, it doesn't feel like she's a checklist for him. So what I mean by that is like, um, I love Liv, but we haven't really got much her and Liv this season. Really not even third season. But even then it's like, okay, how you doing? But it's not like really like I'm gonna come back and make sure you're good. I'm going to like Jordan is like, okay, I really am concerned about what's going on with you. It's not just a checklist for me. It's not just a, did I check on Layla today? Checklist. I feel like he deeply cares in a way that everybody else is lacking.
right.
I agree with that girl.
Yeah, I think y'all know I gotta defend my lib. Even though I know you
You
love her
got to
just
defend
as
this
well.
friendship.
We love her equally. We love her. Oh my gosh. Not even that. But but yes, also me defending Olivia. In season 3, right, to your point about where we saw this sort of breakdown in communication with Layla and Olivia in season 3, obviously we started off the season and what happened in Vegas had already happened by that point in time. Um, and also Liv, she was dealing with her sobriety as well as everything that was going on with Spencer, and then it was her recovery. And even though Layla was, to be honest, I think one of the only people that we saw there during her recovery period, um, one of the, I didn't say the only, but one of the but it's still, she, Liv had a lot going on, and then shifting into her relationship with Spencer, they are still, I think, still in the honeymoon phase of their relationship, and very very connected right now. And so there just hasn't been this time that they've had maybe in season 1 or season 2 to connect. So in that way, I do agree. I think that, like,
But you know how I
Jordan,
feel about the friendship. I always feel like even before there was a season 3, there always been a lack in friendship on both ends. So yeah, we got good moments, but I don't care for the friendship like that.
I know, I know. I'm still finna defend it. I'm still finna defend it.
I
But yeah,
know. And don't get me wrong, audience.
even
Like I'm not saying Liv is a bad friend. I'm saying Liv and Layla are best friends to each other. Both.
yeah, they definitely could be better. Sorry, so Kaya, you were saying something.
Oh, she just shocked me with her comment, you know? I mean, I got slapped across the face over here. You don't like Olivia.
No, no, but and again to that point, so yeah, I just think that they're not. Uh, they just don't talk as often as they used to. Um, which is, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But to that point, that Jordan really has been the person to, and as we go through the season, right, what did he say?
Mhm.
He was just like, he's the one that he won't let her build up walls with him. And we saw that
Mhm.
in
Persistence.
episode 6 when he talked to her, even though I do think he crossed the line with the whole Asher, bringing up the Asher
Yes.
situation. But he was just like, you're keeping everybody at a distance. And she learned from that, right? By the time we see them in '07, they're having this deep conversation about Carrie and about her letting people in. And you know through to, what is it, 412, when she's, there really are no more walls.
Yes,
None
well,
at all.
listen, that was proof that how much he paid attention to her because he has been the only one that really pointed out like constantly that she's got walls up against people.
Right, right. And I thought it was going
Yeah.
to come up earlier in the season to that point. Especially after the one the only, right, the on one of the only talks that Layla and Olivia did have. But after her birthday in 2, I thought that somebody was going to point out that, like, she's been more guarded, and it didn't come up until episode 6
You
when
mean the
when Jordan
scene
pointed
when
that out.
Olivia tells her Jordan just want
You should feel loved.
yes.
Stop.
Yep, that was too.
Oh no.
It's still the pause for me. He just wanted
Just
you to
saying.
feel loved. You know,
Yes.
we all do.
Mm.
Shout out Sam, man. Sam coming through. Sam, and listen, come come for Jordayla shippers. That's fine because Sam is a Jordayla shipper,
Yes, she is.
and she said so a few times. Um, but yeah, and so he's been the only one that has um really gotten her to open up, and we saw that again in episode 7 when they had that prom dance, and especially in episode 12 where we hadn't seen him for a while, but we get him supporting her as she thinks that her dad is sick because he's retiring, and so
I mean,
just that
dying.
whole
The
episode.
cutest
She
thing.
thought he was dying.
Yes, she did.
You're right, right. He's clearly dying. No, yeah, I know.
That was he was.
um, no, exactly, and that's when the mention of the Ladar comes about, and again, him just knowing what to say to her, him, and I'm gonna say this, him reading her mind. I do think that they read each other's minds. I think that if you go back to their scenes, especially over the course of the last 2 seasons, it's really clear. Even let me say this, the last 2 seasons, because I think the cotillion too. He looks over at her and he's just like, you know, blah blah blah, and just responding sort of to what she needs at the moment. Um, but yeah, that just continued throughout 12, and he ended up giving her advice not only about her father but about love in a way. Why do you now I'm like thinking about that? Why did the conversation shift to love? Like, yeah, he was talking about her dad, but and the fact that he was in this new relationship. Uh, but why do you think it shifted to love so quickly?
I feel like he put it out there because he knows he reads her. You know, he's good at reading her. And I think in that moment, because yeah, she's having this so-called thing with Clay. He has his relationship that's a long distance relationship, and then the whole situation with her dad, and her dad now finding somebody who he wants to spend the rest of however long he got left. I mean, the rest of his life with, and all those things, it all fits in the category of love. Not her and Clay, but in a sense, she's kind of seeing him, Um,
Right.
but it
Love or
brings,
not love, right? Her making a
yeah,
decision about whether she wants to continue in this relationship and whether it can go deeper.
with Clay, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That
with
ain't
Clay.
happening. So I
It
feel
ain't
like
going exactly. It ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
But that's what I'm saying is that he was encouraging her. And I think apart from everybody else, right? And he could have his own reasons. I did see hints of jealousy in '07, but
yes,
he was one of the only people that we've seen interact with her and not push this you should go with Clay angle. You should give him a shot. Oh, I know. Just want you to be happy. Why don't you go
Because
for
he
it?
already
And
did it
again,
once. He want to do it twice now.
but did
true.
he? But did he? I don't. Did he encourage? I think that he was
He,
not a fan of Clay at first. He's
no, he
never been a fan.
at the prom. He encouraged her to.
No, right? He was just like. Well, I think because he was just like, what's up with that guy? He's leaning, and I
He's
think that he
leading.
was just encouraging her that he that she actually that she could explore something. I don't know if that was generally to Clay. I think he was just like, you can explore something, and it doesn't have to be a deep situation, but.
It was to
I never
Clay.
think Jordan has been,
It's to
but I feel
Clay.
like I
Clay was the reason for the topic.
no, I know, but I don't think that Jordan was ever a fan of Clay. Just
I never
how
said
he
he was a
started that whole
fan.
Nah.
He's a fan of her happiness. So therefore,
Hey,
uh,
girl.
he's a fan of her happiness.
right, right.
I'm just saying,
Um,
Team Jordan.
but yeah, Team Jordan. But okay, to the original point though, I think what I was saying that Cl- he hasn't like pushed it onto her. He's been saying you can stay open to whatever you want to do, but the other conversations she's had, namely with Olivia and with Patience, they've been very much like, you need to go for that.
That's because he listened. He listened.
Listen, Linda.
He listened. He don't. He hear her talk and hear what she say she want and don't want. Everybody else just like, this is what you need, and it's like, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. He'll tell her also like, okay, but it's not in the pushy way that everybody else does it. He respect her mind. He respect her mind.
She going deep.
She is.
He respect her
He
mind.
respects everything about her.
Period. All of it.
10 hours later, he respects her mind.
I'm done. Yo.
I'm
But
just
what do you think about
saying.
what do you think about that, Kaya? About Jordan giving her advice, but not pushing her to Clay.
See, I don't mind it. I know he don't like Clay. Like he know Clay's only here for a moment. But I feel like I don't mind the advice and I actually like the advice because it's bringing her closer to him at the end of the day. Like it's allowing her to think more and realize, yeah, nah, this thing with Clay is just a little fling thing for the moment, but the things that George talks to her about and gets her to think more and think deeper on. I feel like pushing her to open her eyes as well because like we said, she doesn't open up with other people the same way she opens up with him. So the fact that he's the one that she and we know she listens to him. So the fact that he's the one that's
Right.
giving
I
her
was
this
literally just about
advice,
to say that.
she's taking it in. Like
I told you, she taking notes. She taking
she's
notes.
listening.
Pleasing
Like
season.
I'm
Yeah.
so she can't wait to get back to that combo.
12, right? Caught that man 12 a.m. in the morning talking some seasons.
Wake him up.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like it's amazing that he's the one that's giving her this advice because we know she's listening to him and that she's actually
Right.
thinking on it.
Right. Right. And to that point, listening, and I feel like it's another thing that I just thought about right now is like it's confirmation for her because I feel like, you know, before he even had the season's conversation, uh she told Clay like, I'll see you in the next
At
city.
night.
Like,
Yeah, she was trying to dismiss him.
She
You're
needed
not
him to
right?
me.
She was trying to.
understand that like, I see you at night. When somebody see you at night,
When the
you don't
sun
bring
comes
it in the
up,
daytime.
I'm
you're not.
dead. I'm dead. But to that point, it's like absolute facts. And this was in 11, and by 12, she's just like, what does she tell him when they're having that the late night conversation? What does she tell Jordan again after what she said to Clay in 11? She's just like, then it gets to pleasing season where you decide like it's just a fun hookup and nothing else. And so
Yep.
then when we get to 13, again is like, I thought you understood our arrangement.
Nah,
So she's been
No chill.
very clear,
he did
and I
not
think
understand the assignment. Mm-mm.
he did not. He did not, and so, but I think that she's been very clear about her feelings, and I think to all of our points about him giving advice, I don't even know if it was just advice. It was just like validating her feelings that she doesn't have to want to be in a relationship with this guy if she doesn't
Hmm.
want to be.
Say it again.
And
Say it
that
again.
came.
Validating her
She doesn't have to be
feelings.
in a relationship.
No, validating her feelings. Her feelings.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
What she's saying out her mouth. Period.
Right.
Period.
Continue. Continue.
You may proceed.
Carmen, you're going so hard. You're going so hard for them. I love it. But to that point, even so, right, that he's just like, yeah, I love it that you and all Queen Bee on Clay, um, and has this whole conversation about like, even though I did love it, you're sleeping with the guy, but you don't wanna move forward, and you're still keeping people at a distance, um, and that's when they have that whole conversation where we are right now about like, you know you see that I have walls too, she says to Jordan, and he was just like, yeah, I mean, everyone has walls, and yours are just a little bit higher. Um, but they have that whole conversation about how she doesn't have walls with him, and that's because like he doesn't let her. Um, and again, he just knows what to say at what time, that she can be receptive to it. I think even in 306, all the way up until the point that he brought up Asher, she was like listening to him. She was
She
taking in
was.
everything that he was saying. And it it just derailed when he brought up Asher. But for the most part, she just really listens to him, what we've been talking about, and he, like we said, he validates her feelings, and she returns a favor, because then they had that whole conversation about what he was going through as well, with Spencer and Isaiah. So what do you think about like their whole balance, especially this season of giving each other advice? I think it's a little bit more on him giving her advice, for the most part, but what do you think about that?
I love it because it's just like it shows. We got to see why they will work. Like because it's not like we have had a constant season of them. Like we got little sprinkles over the season, but I feel like this season, the writers have definitely went out their way to show us like why they will work, why they get each other. So it's just like it's
Mm,
just not coming out like not sometimes you're like, well, up to this season we loved them, but this season we really got to see why they will be so great as a couple.
right. Not everyone loves them. But
That's
I was
okay.
thinking
That's
that.
okay. They'll be okay. They'll be okay. They just in
They're gonna be
denial.
alright.
They'll be in denial. It's okay. All the Jordayla haters, they have a meeting every Thursday and they serve cookies. Y'all go over there.
I'm done.
oh my gosh.
I'm just saying they have a meeting. Jordayla haters got a club. They got a meeting. It's not over here. It's over there. They got cookies and sodas. Go get it.
Oh my gosh.
Because if
How do
you
you
come in
follow
a
that?
comment with the Jordayla hate, I'm ready.
Can't be
Period.
offended the viewers. I'm kidding. I'm
I'm
kidding.
kidding them. Please feel free to say what you want to say. Just know I love Jordayla.
She is prepping. My
Carmen
girl's
is
over there. She's
holding
saving
this
her
in for
fingers.
ages. She's been holding this in for ages, clearly. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
go ahead.
You don't make me forget. Where are we?
I know, I don't even remember the question anymore.
What was your question, Carmen?
About
It
them
was
this
my question.
season. Yeah,
No,
about them
what were
this
you
season.
responding to? Oh, wait, about
Oh,
this.
it was
Oh,
about
this
the balance. It
season?
was about their balance of like giving
I
advice. No, no, yeah,
cannot
yeah,
with
yeah.
this
Their
girl.
balance of giving advice this season.
It has definitely grown so much more this season. And I think what I like the most about it too, which I was thinking because we're like, not a lot of other people are able to talk to Layla the way that Jor is, or get her to open up the way that he does. And I like it because it's like they have their own thing going on this season. Like I saw moments before season 1 up until season 3 of them, like small moments that you're like, oh, they'll be cute. Oh, it seems like there might be something there that's coming up. And then now season 4, where it's like you're getting it, it feels like we're getting it so fast and so slow at the same time. Like we're seeing them build up.
Yeah,
Testify.
I'm so
Like
done.
for
yeah,
real, so fast and so slow. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You're
We're
so
yeah.
right.
Simultaneously.
we see them like the way their communication is building more and more, and it makes you also want to know conversations that they've had in the past that we haven't seen, that we haven't heard, just because of how this season is progressing with the two of them, and to the point of people not being able to talk to her the way that he does. Everyone else has so much going on. Like they have relationships that they're dealing with, they have drama that they're dealing with. Every other person, every single friend in this friend group has something that they're dealing with. And Jorah's like the only one that's really chilling. His girl is off at college. he just started college, so he doesn't have the same level of, I guess, responsibilities that everyone else has, dealing with, significant others or um, going to jail. But so the extra time that he does
She
have,
said going to jail.
the extra time he has, outside of school, outside of football, he's checking on her. He's making sure she's good. She's doing the same for him. Like, I like that we're seeing them be there for each other and that they can have kind of this, it's not a secret, but it feels like a secret that we're in on, that they're
It
slowly
is a secret.
building like this. It's a secret to us, like, and it's a secret to them, but they just don't know it, but everyone else doesn't see, which makes it even better because I feel like we're getting them at this smooth, steady pace. And we're just seeing how their feelings for each other grow more and more over this season. And it's so nice to see it.
Something that I love too is that to your point, Kaya, like she she has these walls, but as Jordan said, everybody has walls and hers might be a little bit higher. I definitely feel like she's in a healthier place than she was with Carrie. I don't think that she's as um I don't think she's as like risk taking as she was like closer to the start of the season. And I think that she's in a healthier place. And to your point about like everybody having something else going on, the writers did a really good job of like paralleling their stories. To that point about obviously a couple episodes ago, Liv was worried about what was happening with Spencer and the whole time conversation, and Jordan brought up that like him personally couldn't imagine sort of spending his extra time with Simone. Uh,
Simone Hicks.
I'm sorry. Couldn't imagine spending his extra snack break time with Simone because of just how much it would be when they were in training camp, and without them
He said,
even
"Forget how I gotta
talking in
eat."
that scene. Right, right. But like without Jordan and Layla even talking together in that scene, Layla was just like, "Oh, I completely understand." So the writers are taking steps to show us that
Yes.
like they're on the same wavelength, even when they're apart. And I think to that point is just like Layla and Jordan are at similar places in life right now. She's focused on her career. He's trying to be focused on uh getting a spot on the team in his own way, connecting with a group and connecting with a team. And they're just not as serious, I think, in their relationships as maybe they once were in the past. Um, so yeah,
That is correct.
that's how I that's how I saw it. But speaking of that, Jamone is still a thing. Jordan and Simone are still a thing.
Are
So
they? Are they? Okay,
wh-
leave that alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. This is a Jordayla podcast. I'm gonna leave it alone. Go ahead.
well, now I want to let's hear your thoughts. So at least on Jordan's end, why do you say are they?
I can't. I can't just do one end. You know, I'm gonna go on to the other one. Don't just open that door. Just keep going. It's okay.
All right, go ahead,
Let's
go
talk.
talk about it.
I'm
It's okay.
saying, like, are they really a thing at this point? I mean, like, she on other side of the world, he's on this side. They're building two different lives outside of each other. You know, it's like
Speak, Carmen.
we barely get them. We barely hear him mention, you know, when it comes to
Who?
her. Like,
Who?
um, I think her and Damon is more of a thing now. Like, that's just what's on my TV. I don't know if I got a special TV, but on my TV, I haven't even seen
Special
Jordan
TV.
hold this baby, and Damon done put this whole baby to sleep. But okay,
Oh, baby.
it's still a thing.
Entire baby, entire
Entire
child.
baby, like yes. I don't know if I had a special edition or everybody. It was on everybody else's TV too. Did I get a special edition of All American Homecoming, or
No,
did
you
y'all
did
see it
not.
too? Right?
Not a special
I
edition.
think I
Okay.
got one of them
Not a
special TVs
special
too, girl.
edition.
Yes. 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 But
Maybe that's
hold
what
up.
this is. Maybe we're all just like Jordayla shippers are all just watching a different show entirely.
Yeah.
Nah.
Listen, I don't blame them. Y'all hold on to y'all ship. Go ahead. Why it go down? You go down with the Titanic. Go ahead.
And get my
They
life
have cute
jacket.
moments, Jimone. I have to admit,
Where?
they have cute moments.
They had cute
No,
moments.
no, no. They had
Season
a
three,
couple.
they
They
had
had a
cute
couple.
moments. Yes, they did, but it's
Right.
over. Like
I
it's
think
over.
they, yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah. I
accept
will
it.
say that I don't. I will say that I don't think that they've had as many cute moments this year, especially not in All American.
No.
Um, not in All American season 4. Maybe even like, yeah, I'm not gonna touch it because I know Carmen, you're gonna go off if I
You
mention
know,
that episode of Girl Power.
I
But
jump right off the cliff.
uh, yeah, I don't think that they have had as many cute moments as they did in season 3. But
And
what
I
about
only
you?
give them like two. Huh?
Oh, like overall?
Yes, girl. Overall, I was never a fan. It was never it for me, Jamal.
They had cute moments. Yes,
You
I was
said
never on
Jimone
the
Ware.
ship.
They What was that, Lexi?
Jimone Ware.
Jamone where?
Jimone
Jamone
Ware.
who? Non-existent. I mean, stop. What? See, with we had this talk, girl, on Spaces. I'm like, the thing with Jamone for me
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Our
is
spaces. Y'all gotta go
I
listen to that recording on the spaces.
look Jamone. Um, see, they were never working for me, and I think Jordan knows that because the way she got him was not in an honest way. My man, he was over here trying to become a better man because he thought he was about to be daddy. It didn't click. Jamone just did not click. And so the cute moments, yeah, they were cute every now and then, but it always felt like something that was just temporary, nothing that was gonna stay. And I knew it wasn't gonna stay. And now that she out, she ain't coming back. Not for him.
Yeah, they was who they needed to be for each other at the time, but it was never like a forever
Yes.
thing.
Like I thank her because it helped him grow a little bit, you know.
Yep.
We saw the kind of person he could be, like the kind of man he could be because he was about to step up. He said, "Dad, I'm about to be a daddy out here." I'm a little bit scared, but I gotta do it. And my man was gonna step up to the plate. And I said, "Look at that, you know?"
Yeah, to that point, I do think much of Jordan and Simone's relationship is this idea of Jordan being in love with the idea of being a dad and in love with the
Yes.
The
idea of
family,
taking
being
responsibility.
there for
Yeah,
her,
They
and
didn't
being
build
there
much
for her.
around
right,
that.
She ain't have
being there for
nobody.
her, being there for her, especially because his family life had been not the best at the time, right, with his
Mm-hmm.
parents,
Hmm.
Billy's affair, and so it really was, I don't want to say this word, but almost escapism for him. To say like, now I have this situation and I'm going to step up and I've been trying to become a leader anyway. And so it just hit him at the perfect time. And while I do think that they have cute moments, and I ship them here and there, maybe at the end of
Yeah.
the 306, maybe at the end of the year 6, but their relationship to me to that point has always been temporary. And I think that I say that because their cute moments would always be preceded by and followed by just miscommunication amongst them. And that's just not something that I see with Jordan and Layla.
And for me, I always felt like at the time, Simone just, she the dude who was her baby daddy didn't want nothing to do with her or the baby. And she told us her reason for picking Jordan. She wanted, you know,
Hmm.
to feel that love that, she seen what he had and was like, okay, I want that for my baby. It wasn't because she was so in love with him. And
Nope.
I think for Jordan, like, I remember at the time, this is like when he's still going through wanting his daddy approval, wanting to be seen by people. And the fact that Simone thought that much of him to pin a baby on him, I think that he was drawn to that.
She was
Of
desperate.
yeah, somebody needing Jordan. Come on, nobody needs Jordan. Like I love Jordan. Don't get me wrong, but he was really going through that thing with his dad and Spencer. His dad being more Spencer the player. He was going through a lot, and hey, he was needed. He was needed. It was cute. They had moments, but let it
And it was
go.
done.
It's over.
Let it go.
Let it
So to
go.
that point about him being needed, I'm going to play a little bit of a devil's advocate. What's the difference
Oh,
with
I know where
Jordan
we
and
going.
Layla?
What do you mean? What's the difference?
Because you said he felt needed. Do you think that he feels needed with Layla? And if that, what's the difference between
Do you feel like
his situation as
okay?
well?
So I'm gonna flip it. Do you really feel like Layla make Jordan feel like he need her?
Thank you. I was about to go.
Did I say that again though?
Do you feel as if Layla really make Jordan feel like she need him?
No, no.
Exactly.
See, I see it as with Simone. She made him believe this thing that wasn't true, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why he felt the need to step up, why he wanted to be that man she needed to be for this baby he thought was his. Like, she forced him in a way to do that with the lie that she told him. Whereas with Lele, she isn't coming to him. Like, he's the one that's approaching her, he's the one that's inserting himself more into her life and trying to get her to open up and giving her advice and listening, because that's just the person he is. Like, she's not the one that's asking him or telling him these things that she needs. He just sees that she needs them, or that she could benefit from this friendship, benefit from listening to him, or benefit from advice, or just benefit from him being around her. And that's why he chooses to do so. Like, 'cause that's something he feels like he has to do, but something he wants to do.
And to that point, taking it literally from what she said, going back to 309, one of my favorite, not favorite scenes, if not like my, nah, it can't be my favorite after all the moments we've gotten in season
Yeah.
4, but no, it's still high up there. It's still high up there. Not
Oh,
me
top
having a
10.
whole conversation with myself, but when she said, I'm just tired of people thinking that I'm so fragile and like can't handle the truth, basically is what she said. Um and when he said you're one of the strongest people I know, I think he still has that idea of her. I don't think that he sees Layla as someone who needs to be
Saved.
rescued. I
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
that he
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
sees her for who she is and for who he knows her to be, which is, a very strong, very capable individual and one of his one of his closest friends. If not the closest right now.
And
If
that
not
and
the
that's
closest right now.
Yes.
and that was my point when you asked the question. Like, don't get me wrong. He wanted to be there for Simone. Also, when
Mm-hmm.
Simone was trying to push him away, he was still there. But like, the difference is like she tried to plant a whole baby on him. So clearly, she needed somebody. Um, where with Layla is like she doesn't go like she prefer not to need someone, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, and so that's Jamone. That's Jamone. And we already sort of said like where they are now. The last thing I'll say on this really is just that it is really interesting that he said what he said about Simone and not really taking the time out of his snack breaks. We don't know if they get snack breaks still, but or if he has more time to call her, but not really taking that time during his snack breaks. And yet we see him
Mm-hmm.
answering the phone call
He made time
at
for Lele.
whatever time of night it was, going to dropping things to go and help her with her dad, right? Like going to the studio to bring
Bringing
her
her food.
food.
And don't forget sitting there eating nothing but vegetables, suffering through all them vegetables.
Right, right, right. Oh my god.
She cooked all them
Oh my
vegetables.
gosh. Facts. Facts. Love their interactions in that
Mhm.
episode. It's just
Oh my
hilarious. Oh
gosh.
my goodness. So it is just very interesting contrast to how he is with Simone right now and how he is with Layla. And with that being said, where do we see them going from here?
To the altar.
Oh my god. Oh my
I said what I
word.
said.
Patience is singing at the wedding. Oh gosh.
To the altar, okay, in the future. in
We
the
need some
distant
time to get
future.
there, Carmen.
She didn't give me a time period. She didn't say like
I
2 months from now.
So
So she
immediately, where do we see them going in this season?
from friends to lovers.
I'm done. I've been going back and forth, I tell you. I think I'm gonna stick to this one here. Two things that I would like to happen, that I possibly could see happening. The first being that within the next two episodes, they find out at the same time how the other feels. Well, that they have these feelings for the other person. Um, but they're not trying to act on it. To see the struggle that they go through of, this is someone who you've come to want to talk to on a daily basis. Because
Love?
they be
Question
talking
mark.
on a daily. Yes, girl, that's coming. Someone that you love deep down inside. So when it hits them, you're realizing you're in love with this person. So to see them struggle with that, we want to see them struggle. Yes, we do. To see them struggle with having these feelings and not being able to act on them, um, and still try to maintain that friendship. I see Jor being that person to try to like keep her in his life as a friend because oh, Simone. Um, but Lele being the one to pull away for some time. And then I feel like
Facts.
by season finale, we'll have that moment where, they can't deny it. Simone, she won't be out the picture by season finale. She's gonna be gone. Um, so that'll give them an opportunity in the finale to have that moment, not to get together officially until season 5, but to have a moment where it could possibly lead to like a kiss, something that brings them together and they're like, wow, this is different, this is new for us, but we kind of like it. Um, so we'll see where this goes, and then it'll pick up season 5. But my other one that I'm kind of pushing hard for too is Lele being the one to have it hit her, and Jor. I feel like Jor, we're seeing him develop these feelings over time now, slowly, but he's not like fully realizing them because he be kind of ditzy sometimes. He do. He's it's not fully hitting him, and I think for Lele it'll fully hit her, especially after the combo with her daddy. Because come on, Papa JP was speaking facts to his baby. He all up in her life
Right? We
now,
forgot to talk about
right?
that.
My man said, "Do not close your heart, baby girl. Open it. Let love in." I said, "Yeah, girl, let it in." I know daddies be knowing. He saw. He said, "Yeah, baby, open your heart." So I think that conversation and the fact that she called him, oh, come on, daddy said, "Open my heart." Let me call him, see if he picked up. And he picked up for her.
Her daddy said
And
with
the
my heart.
conversation, yes, daddy said, "Open my heart."
Let me call
Not look,
him.
not only Daddy said open my heart, but Daddy knows who Jordan is now.
Yes,
That
come
in
on.
and of itself.
Look at that. We done came so
Okay,
far since
307.
Vegas. Right? We done come so far. So now I feel like she'll be that person. It'll hit her first. She'll once again, lately she can't really deal with that kind of stuff. Emotions like that be hitting her so hard sometimes. So she's gonna try to book it from him for a little bit. And my man's Jordan's gonna be the persistent type. He gonna come and get his woman. He gonna run her down. Like, girl, you putting the walls back up with me? No, 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 we can't have that. But I still think it'll take until the finale of this season for them to for something, a moment to really happen with them for them to progress in this relationship. But yeah, Simone about to be out. Season finale, no, episode before the season finale, because we need season finale to focus on Jordayla taking that next step. And then we can go full fledged with them in season 5. Mm-hmm.
Just
Carmen, did you want to
um.
round us out? You want me to say it?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, Kai and I have talked about this extensively. But two lines of thought here. One that I think is going to happen, that Layla will come to a realization about her feelings within the next two or so episodes. And again, she's gonna run. She's gonna and maybe not run. She's gonna avoid. She's gonna avoid. She's gonna not put herself near Jordan. So we're gonna get that for a little bit. He's gonna try to talk to her again. I do think that Jordan and Simone will break up. I'm gonna say 2 episodes before this finale. And again, I do think like there's gonna be a moment that is like very very clear what it is, shifting into romantic for both of them. Um, in the finale, as they both sort of start to become aware of their feelings. Something that I would just personally like to see, because I think it's an interesting story to tell, is them both coming to the realization about their feelings at the same time. Um, and then them sort of having a conversation, even if it's not necessarily like on the surface level about their feelings, but just like, we've been spending too much time together. Like, we should we should cool off. So that kind of deal. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I just think it would be fun. And of course, it's something that Kai didn't mention, but it would also be really cool if they find some way to integrate Sabine and Patience into the story, because I don't
Yes,
think to that
Sabine's
point
finding out
any
first.
Sabine's finding out first. If anybody in their friend group is gonna find out first, I think it's gonna be Patience. Um, but yeah, those are my thoughts and my wants. But I would love to see them both sort of come to that conclusion about their feelings at the same time. All right, Carmen, take the floor. You said I'm ready. I've been preparing for this.
Come on,
No,
girl.
no. I just changed my mind. I decided I don't got no expectation for the season because if the writers let me down, I'm gonna fight. So
Carmen, do not hype me up. Let's go. Let's go,
listen,
girl.
so therefore I'm just gonna just watch.
Boo! Tomato, tomato,
No.
tomato. Ending on a kind of chaotic note there, but those are our thoughts. Hope you enjoyed this episode and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for listening.